Hello and welcome to the Bukit Jalil National Stadium as the athletics concludes during this session, the 10th session of the 2017 Sea Games athletics competition. And this is the evening session on day 5 of the track and field, day 8 of the 2017 Sea Games. Well, fine conditions that greet the competitors, relatively warm out, but still fine conditions regardless. Humidity of just over 60%, no wind to speak of, not even really a gentle breeze that will be welcomed by the athletes who will be taking part in the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase, which is the first of the events that is to take place. It will take place with a handful of competitors going for the gold medal. It's a full field of 9 runners. Then we'll have the men's high jump victory ceremony, which 2 Malaysians finished top 2. And then the relays, 4x400 metre relay for both men and women before the victory ceremonies for the 3 finals that take place. This is the start list for the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. 9 athletes that will do battle for the gold, silver and bronze. Ramizan of Malaysia, Purwanto of Indonesia, Kandol of Philippines, Do Kwok Lat of Vietnam, Gamashi of Indonesia, Punupala of Thailand, Vietnam's Pam, Thanaton Grairat of Thailand, and Christopher Nubok Jr. to go in this race. Competitors lined up. They'll be introduced momentarily by the stadium announcer. So warmly welcomed in front of his home crowd, Ahmad Lut bin Hamiz, the 25-year-old Malaysian. He's done 2 times sub 9:10 already this season, 9:06 and a 9:08.22 in Baku in May. Jong Teo Purwanto from Indonesia, 25-year-old, and 9:18 his best this season back in March.
189.
Camino Emmanuel Kandol, the 25-year-old from the Philippines. Well, he struggled to go sub 9:30, but he did do a 9:30 in Singapore in April. Do Kwok Lat, the 24-year-old from Vietnam, will be among the favourites for a medal here.
120.
Elisa Gamashi of Indonesia goes from the 5th position on this bunched start.
250.
This is Natawat Punupala of Thailand. Another athlete who'll be aiming for a medal, but genuine medal contender alongside him in Pham Thien Thian of Vietnam, the silver medalist from 2015. A man who claimed his personal best in 2015 by running sub 9 minutes.
266.
Thanaton Grairat of Thailand will be the 8th competitor in this field, while the gold medalist from 2015, Christopher Olbok Jr., now 27, will aim to defend his title, going from the very outside. He hasn't been running very quick times, but he did come to this track in July to run in the Malaysian Open. He stood a 9:26 on that occasion. So Philippines with a couple of contenders, including Kandol and the defending champion Olbok Jr. Being held for quite a long time on the line at competitors immediately breaking for the inside. It's a bit of a sprint start from Kandol of the Philippines. Well, don't read anything too much into this just yet. There's 3,000 meters to be covered, but most importantly is the number of barriers that need to be cleared by the athletes. Competitors have got to clear 28 fixed barriers and 7 water jumps during the race's duration. And the barrier is not quite as high as the men's high hurdles. They stand at 36 inches, which is 3 foot, so 91, about 91.5 centimeters. So not the first of the barriers that are to be cleared. 7 laps to go then. The water jump will be cleared 7 times by these athletes. Another clearance. The water jump, the landing area is quite significant. It's a 12-foot landing area and around 70 centimeters at its deepest. Break onto the inside of the track. Some tracks have their water jump on the outside, so the distance needs to be calculated. You'll notice the runners don't hurdle this barrier. Some will hurdle the fixed barriers out on the track, but they won't hurdle the water barrier. Although there are some athletes that enjoy hurdling the water barrier. I think the most famous of those became Amos Biwott, who was the first Kenyan to win the Olympic gold medal in the 1968 Mexico City Games. Leapfrogged the water jump without putting his foot on top of the barrier. And Kenya, of course, the dominant nation around the world, and continue to dominate. Moses Kiptanui, probably the most famous of all the 3,000-meter steeplechase runners. A man who just continued breaking the world record in the spell between 1991 and 1995. So a little change in the lead here. As you see the athletes just hurdling the jump for the most part. You can put your foot on top of the barrier if you like. It's a big solid wooden barrier, so there's no concern about it falling over. As with the rather flimsy or relatively flimsy high hurdles and the shorter races, these are proper solid steeples. Photographers always gathered at the water jumps. Some wonderful shots as well. So change in the lead. Kondor went to the front quickly, but Ulbok joined him quickly as well. Purwanto wanting to get himself into a position from which to make a challenge. It's still early days yet. We're virtually a third of the way through the race. 5 laps to go now. So tucking themselves into handy positions are the gold and silver medalist from the last games. Pam Tien Sian currently in 3rd position, while Ulbok Jr. of the Philippines currently putting himself just behind the man who's leading at the moment, Tio Purwanto. Just looking to take a step or two away from the athletes. Toko Gloat, another runner who's done a decent time, a 9:12 in June. Will be wanting to prove that he's got the speed to produce a finish capable of medaling. As we approach the water jump again, with Purwanto still leading, put on top of the block. And it's a water jump that sometimes causes problems for athletes. Beatrice Koech at the recent World Championships actually missed the water jump. She continues to run around the track, then had to retrace her steps, go back, double back, then cross the water jump. So most of the athletes hurdling the regular steeples, and Purwanto now is sort of starting to pick up his pace ever so slightly. Not looking over his shoulder, but it is effectively a challenge to the other competitors. Come with me if you dare. There will be athletes who will want to see how the race develops, but there will be some other athletes that have a plan set in place. They will not deviate from their plan, and they will run at the pace that they think is correct. And of course, so much depends on a number of aspects, including the weather conditions, including humidity, temperature. These are all aspects that need to be taken into consideration. Not the longest of events. It's only 3 kilometers effectively that are covered by the athletes, so far from being the longest of events. But it is relatively punishing, particularly with the breaks in stride and the breaks in tempo building up to the steeples that need to be cleared, and indeed the water jump. These relatively humid and hot conditions might be welcomed. Some cooler water splashing on the legs of the runners. 3 laps to go now. And Purwanto extending his advantage of the field. The 25-year-old Indonesian is looking to take this to the other runners. A man who did a 9:18 in March, so is not to be underestimated. And we're starting to see a move being made by the runners behind him, who fear that he might be getting a little too far ahead. It's Ahmad Lut bin Hamiz of Malaysia who's starting to make the push up and trying to drag the runners behind the Indonesian up toward the runner. Bam Tien San is the athlete currently positioned in 3rd place, while the defending champion sits in still a relatively handy 4th position overall. But coming up to the final 800 meters, moves need to be made. Now as he enters the straight, around 900 meters to go. When he crosses the line, it'll be only 2 laps to decide the victor. And Atjong Teo Purwanto is not conceding his lead. He's conceded a few meters in it. There's still strong finishing to come. 2 Vietnamese runners, both have strong finishes, and they're both handily positioned. Looks like the defending champion, Christopher Ulbach, despite his run at the Malaysian Open in July in preparation for this event, he's not looking like he's in his strongest form. Hamiz desperately trying to catch Purwanto now, with around 600 meters to go for Purwanto in the lead. As he starts that second bend and heads into the water jump. You all know that he's got a very short distance to into the line and then one final lap to go. They are not closing on Purwanto, still looks fresh. Still plenty of opportunity for runners to make an error. They don't want to. A little bit of a stumble there from Dokwok-Lot at the water jump, which might have proved problematic, lost him a few meters. Certainly disrupted his tempo, but now scrambling to get back into contention here. And there is a move being made. Now from the silver medalist of 2015, Bam Tien San, as the bell is taken by Purwanto of Indonesia. A handful of seconds behind him though, and plenty of room to make up. 3 chasing runners, including a Malaysian, Ahmad Lut bin Hamiz, who's being egged on and encouraged by the partisan home support here at Kuala Lumpur 2017. And he looks to be hurtling to victory here. The runners behind him are using their spikes to step on the top of the barriers. But Atjong Teo Purwanto is still looking very fresh. He quietly came into this competition, was not expected to be one of the quicker runners, but he's taken this to the field, and he did so quietly. He had a glance or two, and a few of the runners behind him went on his merry way. Nobody decided to go with him at the time, and now they might be regretting it. They're certainly closing in on him. A very fast finishing prospect from Bam Tien San, but I don't think he's going to catch Purwanto. Purwanto over the final steeple, and he's sprinting towards the line now. He's going to be outside of record time, but he's got the gold medal. Purwanto of Indonesia gets it ahead of the 2015 silver medalist, and denied on the line Malaysia's Hamiz as Dokwok-Lot comes in to claim the bronze medal. Vietnam finished 2nd and 3rd. Silver and bronze. Hamiz of Malaysia, who finished 4th and outside the medals, devastated. On the track he collapses, so too the defending champion, who had no answer for the athletes ahead of him. It's a sprint now for Nantawat Bunupala, just trying to finish, clocking home for pride, and then finishing this race. But the Indonesian is on the tartan. Can't believe his success. He has got the gold medal for Indonesia, their 5th athletics gold medal. Tanatun Grayerat of Thailand coming home now. Cheered on by the crowd, but the focus is very much on Atjong Teo Purwanto, winner of the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, a 9:03.94 and a gold medal for Indonesia. Pham Thien Son has to settle for the silver medal, as he did 2 years ago in Singapore. And his compatriot, a fine bronze medal. Do Kwok Loat, a stumble at the penultimate water jump, nearly cost him some time, had to sprint back into contention, but managed to chase down the Malaysian who was being egged on by his home support, Ahmad Lut bin Hamiz. And Vietnam have a second and third, a bronze and silver in this race. And congratulate the victor. The two Indonesians are taking a lap. Elizar Gamashi getting in on the act as Purwanto claimed the win.
Congratulations to all participants and well done to gold, silver, bronze medalists tonight. Shortly, we will witness the victory ceremony for the men's high jump. Stay tuned for that.
Purwanto didn't lead from the very start, but took the lead relatively early on in the first couple of laps and decided he would make the most of his opportunity. Started to edge away from his competitors. Nobody went with him. Very quietly went about his business, ran his own race. In the end, needed to push hard to keep the Vietnamese duo of Pham Thien Son and Do Kwok Loat at bay. But the battle was on for the silver, bronze medal positions. And this is where the move was made by the silver medalist of 2 years ago. And while he left the other competitors behind, and while he was catching Purwanto, not enough time to do so. Purwanto timed it perfectly. Didn't have the strong finish of some of the other competitors, but he had a big enough lead to make it count. Achong Teo Purwanto, the 25-year-old Indonesian with his best time of the year. A shade over 9 minutes, 9:03.94, takes the gold medal and delivers Indonesia their 5th gold medal and their 15th medal of the athletics competition at Kuala Lumpur 2017. Confirmation of the results. Achong Teo Purwanto, 9:03.94. Consummate victory over Pham Thien Son of Vietnam, 9:06.31. Do Kwok Loat with a fine bronze medal performance, just pipping Ahmad Lut bin Hamizan of Malaysia. Defending champion finishes 5th. Sarudin Jumari, men's high jump, easily clear. The first attempt at 1:90 m, and the Singaporean sees himself soar over. Jumari easily over at 1:85 m, and first clearance at 1:90 m, struggling at 1:95 m. Doesn't want to exit the jump competition this early on, and I'm afraid he's done so here. Goes out at 1:95 m, a man who cleared 2:11 International Army Games back in March. Entry at 1:85, out at 1:95, having cleared a height of 1:90 m, and a disappointing return for the 25-year-old. Mantapong Kam Mani, 2 meters for the second of the Thai competitors. Good arch of his back, and it's over first time after a couple of struggles at 1:95. Romani needs this at 2 meters 4 to stay in the competition. Can't get it right, and he crashes out, having cleared a height of 2 meters. Second athlete out of the men's high jump competition. Clear Junior. Oh, very easily done. Comfortably over at 2:04. No failed attempts as yet. Struggling here. Clear of the Philippines. He'll be out at 2:04 if he doesn't clear here. Doesn't do so. The 3 failures at 2:08. He'll register at 2:04. Third athlete to be out of the men's high jump competition. Kitsang bars up at 2:08 now. This is his first attempt. Oh, clip of it, but it'll go. His first misstep, but still clears it first time at 2:08. 2:12 proving problematic here. Register at 2:08. He'll be out of the men's high jump competition if he fails to clear this. So 6 athletes in the high jump. Make that 5. Narangrit Kitsang is out, having cleared 2:08. 2:12 is where he fails in 3 successive jumps. Shafa. Well, huge delight as he clears 2:15 first time. Look at that for a clean scorecard. He's been impressive right the way through. Genuine delight from the Indonesian. He's had a smile on his face all the way through this men's high jump competition. Rizky Kusyafa. That smile has disappeared now. Needs to clear this. Never looked like he was going to do it. Just a little too much effort in the run. Bar goes over. 4 athletes in contention for 3 medals now. 2 from Vietnam, 2 from Malaysia. No surprise to see that the Malaysian and Vietnamese athletes are continuing to dominate. Nguyen Can Nan will finish better than the 7th that he placed in 2015. 23-year-old. Steadily going about his business. And easy does it. Little fist pump at 2:18. His best of the year coming into this competition was 2:14. He put that at the previous mark. Clear first time at 2:18. Thought he had it. And 3 failures at 2 meters 20. Just 19 years old. Second attempt. 2:18, his best this season. The 2:17 he jumped at the National Age Group Championships in June. Good approach, hit the bar. I thought it was coming off, it stayed on. So a few failures on the card. He'll need to go over at 2:20. But he'll take that clearance. A 19-year-old, invaluable experience here, and still in with a medal shout. If he fails here, his compatriot will claim the bronze because he's had more failures at lower heights. Vudukan needs to clear. Bar goes over and he'll miss a medal by 1 position. He clears 2:18, so too his compatriot. But he needed that to stay in the medal hunt, even if it were for bronze. Three-time gold medalist, now 30 years old, 2:24 at the Australian Champs in Sydney in April. He's managed to do that height again, and he equals the SEA Games record set by his compatriot in the 95 SEA Games, Luke Gunzi. Really needed that. Lee Hupway pass at 2:26 now at 2:28. And we just got over 2:24. Never looked like it was going to happen. Well, he bows out, but he's guaranteed himself the silver medal in the men's high jump competition. And Malaysia have a 1-2. Navrat Singh, favourite for the gold medalist at the last 2 men's high jump competitions, and has gone 2:30 already this season. Should be a formality, and is. 2 meters 24 with a clear card. He's in front.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just...
Needs this. 2:28, not his season's best. He set the 2:30 national record in Singapore in June. With the 25-year-old favourite for the gold, the 3rd consecutive men's high jump competition at the Southeast Asia Games, in front of his home crowd, to have the SEA Games record all on his own. It wasn't a bad attempt, he knows it. But the gold medal is his yet again. Navrat Singh of Malaysia confirms a Malaysian 1-2.
Navrat Singh, 21.
Men's high jump results, 2:24, and on count back, fewer failures. Navrat Singh gets the gold ahead of Lee Hupway. 2:18 for both Vietnamese jumpers. Fewer failures for Nguyen sees him claim bronze. This is the victory ceremony for the men's high jump.
Medals will be presented by Yang Berbahagia Datuk Karim Ibrahim, President of Malaysia Athletic Federation. The mascot and settling will be presented by Yang Berbahagia Datuk Marina Ching, Chef Division of Malaysian Contingent for the SEA Games 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, bronze medalist is Nguyen Tan Nan from Vietnam.
The bronze medalist from Vietnam, Nguyen Tan Nan, cleared 2:18, same height as his compatriot, but fewer failures leading up to that height. Means he is awarded the bronze medal. 7th in 2015, he's on the podium in 2016. The 23-year-old can take great delight from his success. A new season's best for that 2:18 as well.
Silver medalist is Lee Hong Wei from Malaysia with a height of 2.24 meters.
A little dab from the Malaysian, a three-time champion, always a smile on his face. Pleasure to be around, and a man who's being hugged and applauded for his success for Malaysia. And he is one half of a Malaysian 1-2 in the men's high jump. The season's best 2:24 that he equals. And the SEA Games record that he equals as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and 29th
But the champion for the third successive high jump competition, and how appropriate that he should hop up onto the medal podium. He cleared 2:24 to equal the SEA Games record that was first posted back in 1995 in Chiang Mai in Thailand by Liu Guanzi of Malaysia. Nauraj Singh, gold in 2013, gold in 2015, gold in 2017. Not near his national record of 2030, but he'll take it, and the gold medal. Popular champion is Nauraj Singh, and alongside his compatriot Lee Hop Wei, a Malaysian 1-2, both having cleared 2:24 in the men's high jump competition. The bronze medal to Vietnam's Nguyen Tan Nan, 2:18 for his third place and his bronze medal. last event of the athletics competition. This is the women's 4x400 meter final relay. The very last women's event of the athletics competition of Kuala Lumpur 2017. Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore and Philippines will battle for the gold, silver and bronze.
Begitu tadi acara penyampaian hadiah bagi acara lompat tinggi nelayan. Para atlet bagi acara ini 4 kali wanita sudah pun bersiap sedia menuju ke garis start permulaan.
Thailand will be going from lane 3. The starters gathering. We'll introduce the athletes in a moment. This is the 4x400 meter relay. Each of the 4 athletes in each of the teams is going to complete one 400 meter lap, but they're going to do it differently. The first lap is going to be run in the designated lanes, as you would for a normal 400 meter flat, but it will be until the beginning of the back straight. So the first handover will be still in their designated lanes, but the beginning of the back straight for the second runner will then see them edge onto the inside lanes, and thereafter the runner who is in front will have the inside lane, so on and so forth, and the runner who's last, the outside lane. As long as athletes do not impede other athletes, that is fine. So some athletes prefer to have their fastest athletes go last, others prefer to get their best starters to go first up. The tactics involved from the respective teams. Thailand are going to be going in lane 3. There's Singapore's familiar Veronica Shanta Pereira, already 100 and 200 double medalist, bronze in both those events. 200 meter champion of 2015. So this is the start list for the women's 4x400 meter relay final. Thailand in 3, Vietnam in 4, Malaysia in 5, Singapore in 6, Philippines in 7. 5 teams that'll battle for the 3 medals. Bonbanhamhook can go first. That's the star of 400 meters, the star of 1 lap. Nguyen Thi Huyen of Vietnam, she'll go last. She will run the final leg. And no doubt we'll be looking to anchor Vietnam to yet another gold medal. Trivedi should be doing the 3rd lap for Thailand. Tan Laksumi Mahindran, 3rd runner for Malaysia. Currently behind her is Go Chi Ling, who'll be running for Singapore. Supinak immediately in your shot. Will be running the final leg for Thailand. Now, Nguyen Thi Huyen will be getting Vietnam off to a start. She's a middle distance runner and already claimed gold medals in both the 1,500 meter and the 5,000 meter. Nurul Faiza bin Maslan will run the first leg for Malaysia in this women's 4x400 meter final.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness 4x400 meters women's final.
So to introduce the athletes in the lanes,
in lane 3,
going off for Thailand in lane 3,
Thailand,
Bonbanhamhook leads off for Thailand. Vietnam will go in lane 4. Nguyen Thi Huyen, twice a gold medalist.
in lane 5,
Nurul Faiza bin Maslan being introduced to Malaysian fans who wait in anticipation for another medal.
Singapore,
Gugapriya Chandran will lead off for Singapore in lane 6.
record for the SEA Games set by national team of Vietnam, 3 minutes 31.46 seconds, set in 2015 Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen,
So Philippines have withdrawn.
400 meters women final.
Thailand in 3, Vietnam in 4, Malaysia in 5, Singapore in 6. All off to a relatively patient start. Vietnam probably looking the best of the starters, going in lane 4. And down the back straight, really doing some serious damage. Vietnam putting themselves into immediate pole position for the opening lap. Now, these 4 athletes complete their lap in their lanes. First lap in designated lanes. But after that, it's completely different. By the time we get to the back straight of the second runner's lap, then they will converge to the inside of the lane. But Nguyen Thi Huyen is running a phenomenal opening 400 meter here, and Vietnam have a very impressive lead. Singapore trailing on behind. Maslan doing nicely for Malaysia. Looks like she'll hand over the baton second. And indeed Thailand receive it third. Eng Chuan now takes the baton for Thailand and looks to make up a little bit of speed, and indeed she has. So when they cross the cones that are positioned out on the lap, the athletes can break inside now, and indeed straight away Quoc Thi Lan does so for Vietnam, hits the inside and into pole position. So a good run from Achima Eng Chuan keeps her in front of Malaysia. A chase from Valaboy of Malaysia. Dipnalim Prasad of Singapore has the baton for Singaporeans, should make up a little ground. Silver in the 400 and national record time 54.18, and silver in the 400 hurdles for did an Olympiad as well, but she's been left with so much work to do that it is a very difficult ask for her to make up too much ground. Quoc Thi Lan, though, maintains Vietnam's advantage as she prepares to hand over to Hoang Thi Ngoc, who picks up the baton now. Trevade Yongpan, a young, talented athlete, all-round athlete, but very good over this distance on the track. Hands over, or receives the baton. Vietnam just extending their advantage now over Thailand, currently second. Malaysia third, with Dhanalaxmi Raya with the baton in hand, and Singapore with Goh Chu Ling trying to catch up to Malaysia, see if they can put themselves in the bronze medal position. Veronica Shanti Pereira, 100 and 200 specialist, is going to be running the fourth and final lap for Singapore. Perhaps not her favourite distance, but right now the focus is very much on Vietnam as they edge towards yet another track gold in the women's draw. It's been another fine run from the first three athletes that give Vietnam a significant lead. It is Vietnam ahead of Thailand, ahead of Malaysia, with Singapore trailing in fourth position currently, and that's the way they take it into the final lap. Supinak Pulkert gets the baton now for Thailand, but the baton has been handed over to the best 400 athlete in Southeast Asia by some margin. She will do nothing more than extend this advantage for Vietnam. It is an enormous lead now for Nguyen Thi Huyen. She won the 400-meter gold in 52.48. She won the 400 hurdles gold in SEA Games record time and in national record time, 56.06. And she is just flying around this track. She is hundreds of meters ahead of the competitors, and she is going to claim a serious victory here. She can even afford to ease off in the closing stages. 3:23, time is counting down here, but Vietnam will be romping to victory. The SEA Games record is not in danger. 3:33.38, 3:33.38 for Vietnam, who take the gold. Thailand take the silver. It'll be bronze to Malaysia. Singapore will miss out on a medal as Veronica Shanti Pereira brings it home. But a fine combination from the quartet from Vietnam. A host of medalists among them: Nguyen Thi Huyen, Quoc Thi Lan, Hoang Thi Ngoc, and Nguyen Thi Huyen, combined to finish the women's competition at the 2017 SEA Games Athletics with another gold medal. Vietnam have won every single women's track event except the women's 10,000 meter, and on that occasion they won the silver and bronze. That is just a phenomenal return for Vietnam, who have been completely dominant in the athletics competition. The fine run by Thailand's quartet as well. Pornpon Humhook, Achima Engwan, Trevade Yongpan and Supinak Pulkert to confirm their silver medal. Malaysia find themselves in third position overall. They have the bronze. Another medal to add to Malaysia's growing tally across all sporting platforms. Maslan Valaboy, Mahentiran Raya and Yusuf with the bronze medal for Malaysia. So impressive on the start. Nguyen Thi Huyen. Well, she looked good around the bend, but she looked great down the back straight. Just opened up an enormous lead. Beautiful long stride. She handed the baton to Quoc Thi Lan, and then Hoang Thi Ngoc in your screen just held on to that advantage for Vietnam. By the time she handed it to Nguyen Thi Huyen, she was hundreds of meters ahead of some of the competitors in this final. Could afford to slow down, but guarantees Vietnam yet another gold. Splendid run, and just phenomenal from Vietnam. It really is. It's an achievement that is virtually unprecedented in any regional competition. A clean sweep of every track title bar the 10,000 meter for Vietnam. Confirmation of the win. Vietnam take the gold, 3:33.40 ahead of Thailand with silver. Malaysia take the bronze. Singapore miss out in the middle. Philippines withdrew. There's the start list then for the men's 4x400 meter final. Malaysia in 3, Philippines in 4, Singapore in 5, Thailand in 6, and Vietnam go in 7. And this should be a little bit of a closer affair.
Acara penutup gerak bagi songkang dan olahraga dalam acara 4x400 meter lelaki peringkat akhir.
One of the favourites of the SEA Games.
Ladies and gentlemen,
a very familiar and famous man in his native Vietnam, Quoc Con Lic, already twice a medalist in 400 meter events at this SEA Games, 400 meter hurdle silver, 400 meter bronze. Let us introduce the athletes, how they go. Going for Malaysia in lane 3, Muhammad Azam bin Masri. The very last event of the athletics competition on the 29th SEA Games. An opportunity for the one medal that remains on offer. Going in lane 4 for the Philippines, Edgardo Alajan Jr. will lead off for the Philippines. Oh. A little something for the camera, a little something for the audience. Dinesh Hilbert, Anthony Lawrence.
Lane 6.
Singapore going in 5, but lane 6, Kunanon Sokao go with the defending champions.
Lane 7.
Lane 6, and in lane 7, some might fancy this quartet. Luong Van Dao will lead off for Vietnam. Well, they've been asked to sit down. And we can go back to the number in their lane. They prefer standing, understandably. There's a problem with the starter's gun. We've had a few issues with the starter's gun, a few technical issues linked to the timing mechanism. The starters called the athletes to their marks. The men's 4x400 meter relay final. Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam from lanes 3 to 7. Quick start for Singapore. Dinesh Hilbert get Singapore off to a very good start, but Philippines on the inside through long-time athlete over this distance. Edgardo Alajan Jr. is just tearing up the track at the moment and giving Philippines a very fine run. Malaysia too on the inside through Bin Masri doing nicely, but Vietnam and Thailand not being caught. Gunawan Sukkao, part of the defending champion quartet, trying to keep his Thailand side in the race. Luang Van Dal finds himself being caught just on the outside lane for Vietnam. Bear in mind that the 4x400 meter works with the runners in the opening leg running their 400 meter as usual before handing the baton over. There's around a 10 meter either side of where the finish line would be. Grace area, and that's a poor handover for Vietnam, which has given Thailand an advantage. Singapore now with Tirobin Thanarajan trying to keep up with Malaysia just ahead of them. Malaysia through Sulhilmi, and now they break for the inside, and they're all very closely netted together. Thailand with Natapong Kunkarpan and Pan Kak Wong of Vietnam also tucked into the side, and the Philippines, Michael Del Prado, looking to find his teammates. Bagsit, Archan Christian Bagsit can run a very good 400 meter, and has he got enough to catch Thailand, who have a significant advantage here? It's another poor handover, it's not great. Singapore bringing up the rear here with Ng Chin Hui collecting the baton. Thailand are extending their advantage to Jirayu Plinaram, a fine 400 meter athlete, but the battle on here with Malaysia, who have a sprint with Nazim bin Nur tearing up the track on the back straight as well and catching up to Thailand. Vietnam have Tran Din Son with the baton in hand, and he'll be handing over to Quoc Kon Lik, who is arguably the best of the 400 meter runners to finish, bar Aries Toledo of the Philippines and Prichaya Suntontuan. Aries Toledo, though, had to complete the decathlon in this competition already. So Thailand being caught at the very end here, and any one of 4 teams could win the gold. It's Thailand who receive it first. Prichaya Suntontuan, 400 meter silver medalist, looking to get things going, but Quoc Kon Lik is catching him. The Vietnamese sprinter, 400 meter bronze medal for him, 400 meter hurdle silver medalist, and he's making up some serious ground on a man that beat him in the 400 meter flat. Philippines desperately trying to hold on to their bronze medal position through Aries Toledo, who claimed a surprise gold in the decathlon for men. How much will it have taken out of him? Because Malaysia are pushing for the bronze, with Abdul Manap trying desperately to catch up to the Philippines. But the real race is on for the gold here. Quoc Kon Lik against Prichaya Sutontuan. Is he going to catch him at the line? Thailand are going to defend their 4x400 meter relay title only just by the narrowest of margins. Quoc Kon Lik loses out on a gold medal at this championship. He claims another silver to go with his 400 hurdle silver. But Thailand defended their title not by very much and not in overly convincing fashion, but they did enough to claim the gold. Vietnam will claim the silver and a bronze going to the Philippines. Aries Toledo must be absolutely shattered. Not only did he win the gold in the decathlon, but he's had to hold off an enormous challenge from Malaysia to keep them from getting onto the podium on what is the final athletics event of Kuala Lumpur 2017. The 29th SEA Games is over for these athletes, but Quoc Kon Lik being congratulated by his teammates. Their handovers were certainly not fluent, and had they managed to achieve a little more fluency in their handovers, they might be the gold medalists. But that's Aries Toledo. He completed the decathlon in a new personal best. He took a gold medal. That's why there's so much effort in, not just from the 400. He is a tired man already. Credit to Vietnam for that fine performance. The speed was there, the handovers not so fluent, but 4x400 meter silver. Philippines take the bronze, and Toledo deserves a huge amount of credit for that. He held on against the odds for a man that has already completed a decathlon, the most testing of all athletic competitions. 2 days of competition filled with 100 meter sprint, a long jump, a shot put, a high jump, a 400 meter, 110 hurdles, a discus, pole vault, javelin throw, and a 1.5. And he still comes back to keep Philippines in it at the very end. This is how they started. Philippines got off to a really good start. Edgardo Alajan Jr. certainly give Philippines a very solid start. By the time, though, they got to the final handover, Prichaya Sutontuan had an enormous lead. Vietnam, not the most fluid handover you've ever seen, but grabbing the baton alongside Aries Toledo, Quang Kong Lik. And while he was catching Prichaya Sutontuan, he wasn't going to catch him, just running out of space, dipped for the line. It didn't make a difference. But Aries Toledo, he is giving everything to hold on to that bronze medal. Malaysia miss out in front of their home fans for the final bronze medal on offer. Philippines celebrating that bronze medal like they won a gold. Thailand defend the title, and they've been so apt at keeping. And Vietnam miss out. Thailand will take the credit. Kunanon Sukao, Natapong Kongkrapan, Chiraya Plinaram and Pichaya Suntuntuam. The medalists from Thailand, as they finish just ahead of this Vietnam side that was closing fastest.
Important part of tonight's event, the victory ceremony for the men's 3,000 meters.
Confirmation of the results. Well, Thailand in gold medal position, but by 0.15 of a second ahead of Vietnam, who claimed the silver. The bronze medal to Philippines as they held off at charging Malaysia for the bronze.
Witness and celebrate the winners of the gold, silver, and bronze medal tonight. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang berhormat sekalian, jangan kemana-mana, kerana sekejap lagi majelis penyampaian hadiah akan berlangsung bersama-sama kita di Stadium Nasional Kejayaan. Sugarsi ke-29 2017 Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Which started on the 19th of August, and today, 26th of August, is the last finale of this championship. Shortly, we will witness the victory ceremony for the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase, women's 4x400 meters, and men's 4x400 meters. Victory ceremony taking place in a while. Majelis ingin menyatakan ribuan terima kasih, terutamanya kepada para penyokong-penyokong yang tidak putus asa, tidak putus dorongan, sokongan dan dukungan untuk
These are the medalists for the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase as they prepare for the victory ceremony.
And senior sports manager, athletics. The mascot at Sydney will be presented by Mr. Typhoon Singh, Technical Secretary of Malaysia Athletic Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, bronze medalist is Do Quoc Ngor from Vietnam.
Well, the bronze medalist from Vietnam,
Time of 9 minutes and 8.72 seconds.
this men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, Do Quoc Ngor, 24-year-old. With a solid performance from a Vietnamese athlete. And a fine 9:08.72. Claims his bronze medal. Seedling and the mascot in the basket. His compatriot
Silver medalist
Pham Thien
is
Son,
Pham Thien Son from
9:06.31.
with a time of 9 minutes and 3.94 seconds.
9 minutes 6:31. Didn't quite get close to his 8:59 that he ran in 2015, his personal best, to claim the silver medal, but he takes the silver home again. Pham Thien Son of Vietnam. He finished 2 and 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and
But the champion was a man that ran his own race. Nobody went with him when he laid the challenge down. But Achong Teo Purwanto of Indonesia ran a 9:03.94.
of 9 minutes and 3.94 seconds.
And most importantly, ran his own race. Nobody could catch him. He had opened up what proved to be an unassailable lead by the time that Pham decided that he needed to be caught. And while he was catching him near the finish line, too much ground to make up. And a gold medal for Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Their
rise.
5th gold medal that takes Indonesia up to 4th overall in the athletics medal tally. Jung Teo Purwanto, champion of the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, will be excited, no doubt, at the prospect of running in front of his home fans at the 2018 Asian Games, to be hosted by Indonesia in Palembang in Jakarta. Men's 3,000 meter steeplechase, Vietnam 2 and 3, Indonesia 1, Purwanto over Pham and Do.
yang 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 berada di Steeplechase Jakarta. Para hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, yang masih lagi istirahat
apabila akhirnya acara-acara balapan dan balap untuk Sukangsi kali ke-9 Kuala Lumpur 2017. Dan kita masih ada lagi untuk cara perlawanan ringan, yang mana untuk acara 4 kali 400 meter wanita dan 4 kali 400 meter lelaki akhir. Dan sudah pasangnya adalah menyiapkan dengan aksi-aksi yang cukup mendebarkan dari setiap para atlet yang memberikan persembahan terbaik untuk negara masing-masing. Sepastinya anda semua hadir untuk sama-sama memberi sokongan kepada setiap pasukan pilihan anda. Ladies and gentlemen, official result for event 4x400 meters women fight. First place goes to Cotton from Vietnam with a time of 3 minutes 53.406. Second place goes to Cotton from Thailand with a time of 3 minutes 58.95 seconds. Third place goes to Cotton from Malaysia with a time of 3 minutes 43.31 seconds. And fourth place goes to Cotton from Singapore with a time of 3 minutes 47.69 seconds. Official result, event number 4x400 meters women final. Para hadirat berkesian dipaparkan di papan skor di Steeplechase bagi acara 4 kali 400 meter wanita akhir nomor tempat pertama pasukan Vietnam dengan masa 3 menit 07.251. Tempat kedua pasukan negara Thailand dengan 3 menit 38.951. Untuk tempat ketiga negara Malaysia dengan 3 menit 43.311. Dan tempat keempat pasukan Singapura dengan 3 menit 47.691. Keputusan rasmi acara 4 kali 400 meter wanita akhir. Ladies and gentlemen, now we result for event 4x400 meters men's fight. First place goes to Cotton from Thailand with a time of 3 minutes 07.25 seconds. Second place goes to Cotton from Vietnam with a time of 3 minutes 07.40 seconds. Third place goes to Cotton from Philippines with a time of 3 minutes 08.42 seconds. Fourth place Cotton from Malaysia with a time of 3 minutes 09.03 seconds. And fifth place goes to Cotton from Singapore with a time of 3 minutes 50.44 seconds. Hadirin sekalian, dipaparkan keputusan rasmi acara 4 kali 400 meter lelaki akhir. Untuk tempat pertama pasukan pelari negara Thailand dengan 3 menit 07.251. Tempat kedua pasukan Vietnam dengan 3 menit 07.401. Tempat ketiga pasukan Filipina dengan 3 menit 08.421. Tempat keempat Malaysia dengan 3 menit 09.031. Dan tempat kelima negara Singapura dengan 3 menit 15.441. Keputusan rasmi acara 4 kali 400 meter lelaki akhir. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's covered. Never standing. First goes to Vietnam with a 7 gold, 11 silver, and 6 bronze. Total 54. Second, Thailand, 9 gold, 15 silver, 11 bronze. Third place, Malaysia with 8 gold, 8 silver, and 9 bronze. Fourth place, Indonesia, 5 gold, 7 silver, and 3 bronze. Fifth place, Philippines with 5 gold, 3 silver, and 10 bronze. Sixth place, Singapore, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze. Myanmar only have 1 bronze, and last 8th place, only 1 bronze. Congratulations to all teams. Para hadirin bersekalian, Tempat kedua Thailand dengan 9 emas, 13 perak, 11 gangsa. Tempat ketiga Malaysia dengan 8 emas, 8 perak, 9 gangsa. Tempat keempat Indonesia 5 emas, 7 perak, 3 gangsa. Tempat kelima Filipina 5 emas, 3 perak, 10 gangsa. Tempat keenam Singapura 2 emas, 2 perak, 4 gangsa. Tempat ketujuh Myanmar memperoleh 1 gangsa, dan tempat ke-8 Laos dengan 1 gangsa. Anda mengucapkan pada semua pasukan yang sama-sama bertanding dengan penuh semangat kesukaan di Stadium Untitled untuk Steeplechase kali ke-9 di Kuala Lumpur untuk acara balapan para. Sementara kita lanjutkan untuk bicara perjalanan pinggan yang seterusnya. Sekali lagi terima kasih atas kehadiran kita semua. Kerana sering untuk sama-sama meriahkan arena balapan para. Dan sudah pastikan meninggalkan kenangan yang tidak dilupakan. Sudah pasti kita akan bertemu lagi 2 tahun lagi untuk tuan rumah yang seterusnya selepas ini. Sudah pastikan lama yang ini menyimpan hasrat untuk terus berjuang bergelar sebagai seorang juara. Jadi terima kasih dan tanya kepada semua para atlet yang memberikan persembahan yang terbaik untuk pasukan masing-masing. Sudah pastinya ada yang menang, ada yang kalah. Kalah tidak berarti terus kalah, terus berjuang untuk menunjukkan ini adalah yang terbaik di rantau Asia.
This is the victory ceremony for the women's 4x400 meter relay.
Coach of Malaysian Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, bronze medalist is Malaysia. With the time of 3
Collecting their bronze medal.
43.31 seconds.
Malaysia coming home. 3:43.31. Receiving their bronze medals. The quartet of athletes. Nurul Faisal, Asma bin Naslan, Shireen Samson Balawoy, Dana Lakshmi, Mahintiran Raya and Fatin Fakia Muhammad Yusuf. Bronze medals and mascots for the Malaysian quartet.
Silver medalist is quartet from Thailand.
Well, a fine silver medal for Thailand, 3:38.95. Porn Pan home hook. Nachima Engchuan Trewadi Yongpan. It's Yongpan receiving her silver medal. And Supinak Pulka, quartet that ran the 4x400 meter relay final for Thailand. Claimed a silver medal behind the side that was always set to claim the gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gold medalist and
the champions.
29 SEA Games champion is
And
quartet from
our host
Vietnam.
of medals between them. But this, the 17th gold medal claimed by Vietnam at the athletics competition of Kuala Lumpur. 11 silvers and 6 bronzes as well. They topped the athletics medals table by some margin from Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, Myanmar and Laos. 33 medals, and this the 17th gold of the championship for Vietnam. Every track gold bar the women's 10,000 meter for Vietnam in the women's draw. Nguyen Thi Wan, Quoc Thi Lan, Hoang Thi Ngoc and Nguyen Thi Huyen, who stands second from the left. Nguyen Thi Huyen just leaning in toward the camera.
Ladies and
Second from the left. 400 meter gold, 400 meter hurdles in SEA Games and national record time, and a gold in the 4x4. How are we going to pose? There's plenty to be discussed. Tiger goes on top. The mascot Rimao. Vietnam claim gold ahead of Thailand with silver. Malaysia take bronze. Medalists from the penultimate event of the athletics competition in Kuala Lumpur 2017. Vietnam, the champions of the women's 4x400 meter.
Pertandingan bola sepak antara Malaysia dan Indonesia akan dipaparkan di stadium Bekasi Stadium ini untuk anda semua yang masih lagi setia berada di stadium Bekasi. Mari kita lepaskan peluang secara langsung dipaparkan di stadium Bekasi Stadium Bekasi. Pertandingan bola sepak yang sedang dilangsungkan yaitu antara Malaysia dan juga Indonesia. Sudah selesainya percarakan latihan yang terakhir yaitu acara 4x400 meter lelaki akhir.
for the men's 4x400 meter relay. Very last event of the athletics competition of 2017.
Well,
the bronze medalists, they celebrated like they had won gold.
3 minutes and 8.42 seconds.
And they did particularly well to earn this bronze medal. Well, the man that ran the final leg, Aries Toledo, receives his bronze medal. To go with the gold he won in the decathlon. It was a phenomenal effort. He stressed and strained around that track, the oval track. Christian Bugsit celebrating his as Michael Del Prado receives his bronze medal on the very end. Edgardo Alajan Jr., who led off the Philippines with a fantastic first leg. A 3:08.42 to hold off Malaysia, who were challenging for the bronze medal. But Aries Toledo just did not let that happen. Held on for all he was worth. He strained, and it would be some strain. His body will still be tired after the decathlon gold. Well, a wonderful effort from Vietnam to finish second overall in this 4x400 meter relay. Long Van Dao led off this Vietnamese side. Quoc Kong Lic receiving his medal, the silver medal, to go with the silver he won in the 400 hurdles and the bronze that he won in the 400 flat. 2/100ths of a second for the difference between his silver and the gold medal that went to Philippines' Eric Cray in the 400 hurdles. And this was not quite so close, but he was charging down at Thailand's final runner, Prichaya Suntontuan, who just beat him in the 400 meter flat. Quoc Kong Lic with the basket and the seedling and the mascot. No doubt the leader of this quartet for Vietnam, who claimed the silver, and Vietnam's 33rd medal of the athletics. But the gold medalists need to be celebrated. They defend the title. They regularly win 4x400 meter relay title. Munanon Sukau, Natapong Kongkrapon, Dirayu Linaram and Prichaya Suntontuan racing to victory. 3:07.25, holding Vietnam at bay by 1/1500ths of a second. Love this, absolutely love this. Gold medals around their necks. On their poses. Vietnam finished second. Thailand, this is their 9th gold medal of the Games. They finished second in the medal standings as a result. So congratulations all round for the medalists. Bronze to the Philippines, 308.42. Vietnam, 307.40 takes silver. And defending their title in the men's 4x400 meter relay, the very last event of the athletics competition of Kuala Lumpur 2017 is Thailand.
Acara yang terakhir bermalam ini selesai, yaitu acara kuat kali pada seluruh lampu. Di sini national picture untuk sukses hari keberhasilan di Kuala Lumpur. Kita akan bertemu lagi untuk sukses hari kedua di dalam ini. Semoga ada sesuatu dalam pasati.
Well, to confirm some of the results, these are the results on day 5 of the track and field program. Day 8, Purwanto ahead of Palm and Do in the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase. It turned out to be a very successful time for Vietnam on the track. That was the 5th gold medal for Indonesia, which moved them up to 4th overall in the standings. Vietnam, though, claimed the sensational women's 4x400 meter final. It's a host of gold medalists delivering again on the promise of a gold medal for Vietnam in the 4x4 and in the very last event of the athletics competition, Thailand. 307.25 keep Vietnam at bay, and they finished 2nd on the medal standings with that their 9th gold medal. Well, it's been a superb athletics competition at the 2017 SEA Games, but that is where it concludes. Smiles all around, plenty of support and plenty of success for the host nation. Vietnam ultimately the most successful, but from the Bukit Jalil National Stadium, that concludes the athletics competition of the 2017 SEA Games.